What I like most about being in nature is probably how calm it is, and it's just nice like to listen to the noises you can hear and see all the animals, and it's just very calming.
I love the sun. I love the way grass and trees and like the color green just smells.
And I really love that disconnectedness where like you can just focus on yourself and your friends and like this incredible place we're in.
Like, it's just not having to worry about all this stuff. Like, I can just like take a breath and sit somewhere for a while and just hear like the birds and the wind and the river.
I love hearing the nature noises, and I love waking up with the sun and being able to go to sleep with the sun.
I like being high up and being able to see everything, all the trees and the mountains.
It's so peaceful, and it really brings you like into the moment where you are, and you're just thinking about that and nothing else.
This summer was a journey. Spending my first summer as a camp counselor, traveling to national parks around the US, trying to heal from family traumas and reconnect with the one thing that always brings me back to Earth. And so I decided to document that journey. Through the words of friends and strangers, I try to answer the question, what does nature mean to the human existence? And how can we come together to protect it? This isn't an investigation. It's a conversation. A conversation about conservation.
I first came to camp when I was in kindergarten, so I did mommy-daughter camp. I've always been really big into nature. My parents have always been big into nature, so it was just sort of a given for me. As soon as I started Girl Scouts, I wanted to go to camp.
When I first came to Camp Mayflower, I was wowed. I went home and told my mom that it was magical. I loved it very much. I loved being in the nature and like constantly just being outside.
Like when I think of like a core memory in nature, it's hanging out with these really close friends and just being able to like have fun and like be a kid.
One of the best times of the year is when I go to camp, because one, I can be myself, and two, I'm around nature. And even just going to sleep in the cabins with no electricity, and you hear the crickets chirping and the frogs croaking, and you can hear the trees swaying. It's literally music to your ears. It just makes me fall asleep so easily, and it's the best sleep I get all summer, all year actually.
I don't foresee until I have to sit down and have a regular job working anywhere but in the woods.
One of the things I did at camp this summer was go fishing. We caught our own fish and crustaceans and cooked them over a camp stove with our own hands. An act that feels so integral to the human existence and yet so foreign to myself and my peers. It made me realize just how disconnected we have become from the natural world around us.
I'm very lucky to have this opportunity to come out here and do camp and be in nature, but a lot of people don't have that kind of opportunity or just aren't in a place where they can go into nature, like, commonly.
I don't get to go to nature too often because I live pretty much in the suburbs where there's not much access to it, but when I'm in nature, I really enjoy it because I'm able to just kind of be calm and be able to de-stress.
Sometimes it's just, I forget that there's nature out here and that there are places like this where you can see the stars.
I think a lot of these like nature spaces don't really exist in a lot of population centers, and it's really important to protect the ones we have now so that people can continue to have access to them in the future.
And it's just really sad that, like, the wilderness is kind of gone from the world. Because, like, even the parts that are, like, supposedly untouched have been, like, affected by us.
The climate crisis affects everyone, but I've seen firsthand the effect it has on youth. We are growing up in a world where we're watching what's left of nature and wilderness disappear before our own eyes.
There's something that has been lost for children particularly. I think children used to have a lot of unstructured time to be able to play outdoors and to be creative outdoors. And I've seen that as children are kept inside more, they're on screens more, their time is more structured, we've really lost that. And so I think being able to create some sacred time and space for children to spend time in nature without an adult agenda is really critical to developing a sense of connection and a sense of caring and a sense of belonging that I fear we're losing as we become a more urban society.
Once you get to really spend time in nature, you get to see like why it's so important that we must protect it. You get to see all the animals and all of the beautiful trees and things that can be hurt by things like littering and climate change, and can make you think more about what you do before you do it.
I think so many summers coming to camp, just feeling it get hotter and hotter every summer, has really made me think about climate change and how the world is warming, and you can like actually notice it. Like last week it was 97 degrees, and I don't think I've had a summer where I haven't had to like wake up with pants on and then de-layer as I go through my day.
There is a huge amount of climate anxiety surrounding youth, and talking to my friends and talking to people I don't even really know, we all kind of share this like really big fear of the future, because we're the ones that are going to be inheriting the planet, and with all that's happening to it, it's easy to feel really overwhelmed, and it's really, I'm just getting like choked up, but that's why I like being out here, because it reminds me like what I can do and what there still is.
One of the most important connections that humans can have with natural places is the opportunity to get back to those places that can enhance our sense of belonging. And whenever I feel disconnected, whenever I feel not like myself, whenever I feel just overwhelmingly whenever I feel overwhelmingly sad and hopeless about the state of the world as it is now, I go out into natural spaces and I rejuvenate myself, and I spend some time along all of these creatures around me, and it reminds me of why I exist.
Every living being is a part of nature. I feel like we as human beings have hurt nature. We have destroyed habitats, environments, places for animals to live and living beings to live with our houses and our townhouses and our apartments and our businesses.
If we think of humans and nature as two different separate entities, we are ignoring the fact that climate change is affecting us and will continue to affect us. So being able to see humans and nature kind of as one helps us understand what we can do about climate change, and also just makes us feel more hopeful.
Like when you walk into a party and you don't know anybody, you might feel disconnected and not really know why you're there or what you're doing. And I feel like the more you learn about the plants and animals that surround you, the more connected you feel.
I think by design, humans are meant to be a part of nature. I think human nature, however, has put us in a position where we're more of an invasive species than an actual symbiotic part of nature.
When we hurt the natural world, the ones we are really hurting are ourselves. Taking care of the planet is basic self-care. Before anything else, we need to take care of the earth, because without her, we are nothing.
Humans have a huge responsibility in protecting nature, because nature came first and we kind of came second.
Everyone has a responsibility to do what we can to take care of nature, because we need nature. We cannot survive on this planet without taking care of the systems that take care of us.
This is our home, even if we live in the city or suburban where there is not as much nature. It is still our responsibility, because there are places like this that we need to protect, and we as a collective, every single one of us, needs to be doing our part, because without everyone contributing, nothing is going to happen.
You don't have to be the next Jane Goodall to protect the earth. All you need to do is just be respectful, honestly. Picking up that piece of trash on the side of the road or at your favorite park can save an animal's life.
I get really stressed out about the climate a lot. I'm subscribed to so many good climate newsletters because I'm really stressed out about it. And just being able to be out here and see what the nature we have, and it kind of stops me from worrying. Instead of worrying about the nature we've lost, I can think about the nature we have and how we can protect that nature.
Individuals do not have to feel this constant climate guilt that we aren't doing enough to make things better. I think as long as you're leaving things better than you found it, and you are doing what you can within your power.
When I am able to come out here, I'm able to see that it's not all gloom and doom. It's actually really still there, and we need to protect that.
Mother Nature is an interesting concept because it puts into words our essential dependence on nature as humans. Nature conceived us and birthed us, through millennia of evolutionary effort. When we were children, she provided us with all the resources and love to become a thriving species. We took only what we needed and what she gave us. But as we began to grow, we took our mother for granted. We disrespected her and took all that she had. But still, she gave us nothing but her unconditional motherly love. However, now, decades have passed and our mother is old and sick. She is suffering from the abuse and heartbreak we have imposed upon her since our teenagehood. For all the care she has given to us, it is time that we must give back to her, nurse her back to health. We need to show her that we still care for her and appreciate her. Across the world, people continue to find peace and spirituality in nature's loving embrace. But we must not forget that she is not only our mother, but we too are her daughters. And even the strongest of mothers need to feel loved by their children.
I believe in a world that is full of dualisms. So I believe that every place is remarkable and exceptional and simultaneously not remarkable and exceptional in the least, which is sort of what my evening program is about. And by that, what I mean is that every place, no matter where you are, even the middle of Nebraska that smells like cow poo and diesel, is beautiful, has beauty somewhere. It might just be a little bit harder to find. But I have a friend who says that the purpose of existing is to experience existence, and that every single living organism on this planet has evolved to experience existence differently. Every single place on Earth is beautiful in its own way because it is able to give life and able to remind us then of what the purpose of being here is, which is to experience this planet, experience the beauty of it, and experience it alongside all the other creatures who came before us.